That's with Dr. Alex Allinson MHK, who has come up to Max Radio to speak about abortion legislation. Dr. Allinson, Friday the 24th of May was a landmark day in the Isle of Man with the abortion legislation being introduced. However, according to a number of people on Twitter, including the campaign group Calm Isle of Man, it seems that its introduction in terms of the information made available has not been the best. So what's been going on?
I'd agree with you there. I think the Department of Health didn't put out clear information straight away, first thing in the morning. The Department of Health had a bit of a battering last week in Tynwald. We had some major debates about the structure and function of them. They've been busy with that. You broadcast news about multiple sclerosis drugs as well. There's loads of different competing priorities for the department, but I think they should have handled this better. The reality is that we are the first place in the British Isles where women, if they have an unintended pregnancy, they can actually phone an advice line, they can get the advice and the counselling they need, they can get direct access to abortion services. One of the problems that Calm highlighted was it was unclear whether those services would be provided on island or off island. Those services, for medical terminations, will be on island for the first time. But there may be some surgical terminations in an interim period where women may still have to go across to the UK, but that will be fully funded and organised by our NHS.
And the difference between medical and surgical is?
Medical terminations are done in the early stages of a pregnancy. In progressive countries where you have access to abortion services, they account for up to 85% of cases now, and women can be given, after full counselling, tablets to basically induce a miscarriage, and can do that at home in their own environment and surrounded by support from their friends and families. And this is the big change, that we will be able to provide this on Ireland instead of exiling women to the UK. And we've heard horrific stories about people miscarrying on their way home. One of the things that Calm has been really successful in doing is highlighting those personal stories of women on the Isle of Man, and I applaud them for that. And I also applaud them for making sure that the pressure is kept up to make these services as good as possible. Although Friday was a landmark day, it doesn't stop here. We can still improve the services we offer. We can improve the services we offer for women across contraception and reproductive services. And one of the big things about the Tynwald debate was putting the patient at the centre of healthcare. And I think this service, being the newest service provided, is an ideal opportunity to do that.
Surgically, though, if a surgical procedure is required, women still always will have to go off island for those?
Not always.
No.
Okay. We've got an interim period whereby some of those may have to go off island, some of those may be able to be provided at Nobles. As we develop that service, I hope all the services can be provided on the Isle of Man. But there are some particular training requirements. We need to make sure that we have the right number of staff who are available at the right times to provide a resilient service as well. And so I think that having the support of BPAS in the UK to come over and do that training, to do that support, we can actually have our own service here that can last and can provide what people expect.
It seems now, going on the reaction of the likes of Calm on Twitter, that there has been clarification, at least, so because there did seem to be great confusion there on social media, and not a small amount of disquiet about that really as well.
I think there was anger. I think women on the Isle of Man have been waiting 50 years for this. It's not a big celebration because these services should have been provided years ago, but women wanted clear instructions as to what they could access and how they could access it. There is now a booking and information number, 642-521. It's open from 7 in the morning to 11 p.m. every day, where you can phone up and get advice. They will know if you tell them your postcode, you're from the Isle of Man. They can tailor that advice to you. You can get them to phone you back. There is that clear, confidential, unbiased counselling available so that women can make the right decisions for them and their families.
And so just finally, and just to make things absolutely clear, if a woman now requires an abortion on the Isle of Man, and I'm talking, from the very start of this service now, they will be able to get one medically on the Isle of Man from this point.
That's correct. If a woman over the weekend does a pregnancy test, find out that she's pregnant, is unsure whether she wants to go through with that, she can phone a number. She can get that advice. They will steer her in the right direction. She can have a termination up to 14 weeks on request on the Isle of Man. This is groundbreaking legislation which puts women at the heart of reproductive health care, and I think really provides the services that women need. However, we can go further. We can make this even better, and we can make the service far more responsive.